influenced you?
Well, first of all, the person that influenced me the most in education would have to be my sister, because she's the one that got me teaching in the first place. And after I started teaching 5th grade for a couple of years. Then after that, I met Bill Holt, and we did classroom observations together, and eventually partnered up to find a new field of education to work on that was different than what was seen before.
That's very interesting. What are your central ideas?
My central ideas revolve around several things. First of all, formal schooling often destroys the natural love of learning, which is a very important facet of education. Also, people learn the best from real life experiences. Learning hands-on is definitely the way to go. And also, education should be driven by the learner. It shouldn't be forced on by the educator or the teacher. It should be something that the student does themselves.
Identify your philosophy.
My philosophy is simple. The human animal is a learning animal. We like to learn, we are good at it, we don't need to be shown how we're made to do it. What kills the processes are the people interfering with it, or trying to regulate it or control it.
That's very interesting. I agree with you. What is your stance on formal education?
It's not that I feel that school is a good idea gone wrong, but it's a wrong idea from the word go. It's a nutty notion that we can have a place where nothing but learning happens, cut off from the rest of life.
To your point, who do you critique and why?
Well, I basically critique the whole formula education system, because after working in the system for so many years, I realized that I really did not support many of the things that it stood for. One of the things that I believe is the primary reason it doesn't work is fear. Students often have a fear of failure or a fear of teachers coercing them to learn, and I don't think that is a productive environment for students to learn in.
Interesting. What is your vision on education?
My vision is that I believe children don't need to be forced to learn. Learning is something that will come naturally to them, and something that should be based on experiences and things like that. Based on this concept, I coined a new term called unschooling. It revolves around students learning in their most comfortable state at home and learning through experiences rather than being forced. My vision is for formal education to be replaced by this new type of learning.
Very nice. What would you say are your top 5 biggest contributions to education?
Well, not to boast, but I've wrote 10 different books on homeschooling.
Wow, do explain.
The first of them, Teach Your Own, is published by myself. It is considered the Bible of early homeschooling. Also, I founded Growing Without Schooling, a newsletter that involves homeschooling and the different applications about it. Additionally, I coined the term unschooling, which we talked about previously. And also, I wrote an article called How Children Fail, explaining the faults of the formal education system.
That's very impressive. What is your view on the role of a teacher?
Well, first of all, from my 18 years of teaching experience, I've realized that classrooms and the teachers running them create a restrictive and confined learning environment. Teachers should instead try to take a more passive role, letting students use their own creativity and not setting limits on their natural learning ability.
Thank you so much for coming down and talking to us today.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure.
And that's it for Cougar Reviews.
So students, we have a quiz tomorrow on the key terms from chapters 1 through 3, and it would need to be memorized, and we're going to take it before class, so you guys need to be ready on the material. Yes, Allie?
I kind of struggle with learning the material. Do we need to know it word for word?
Yeah, we are taking the quiz. This is the curriculum, so it's not changing. I can't make special accommodations for you, so I'm sorry. This is what we're a little behind from all the other classes, so we're going to have to move a little quicker, so you just have to memorize it and do the best you can.
Okay.
Mom, Dad, guess what I noticed last night?
What?
So, you know how we went on the nature walk the other day?
Right.
Well, I noticed that, like, while we were on the walk, we discussed a few things. I noticed that my reading from last night.
Yeah.
And then that also tied in with the project that I did last week.
I'm really glad you're making the connections of what we're giving you to the real life situations.
I know, it
Yeah.
feels nice.
You should go journal about it.
Lady, go off on kids, because they don't freaking get this crap. If you would just get up and teach them instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. There's kids in here who don't learn like that. They need to learn face to face. You're just getting mad because I'm pointing out the obvious and you're too late.
wasting my time.
No, I'm not wasting your time. I'm telling you what you need to do.
Get out.
You want kids to come into your class, you want them to get excited
come
for
to
this,
me when
you gotta
it's
come in here, you
about.
gotta make them excited. You want a kid to
Yeah.
change and start
Okay.
doing better, you gotta touch his freaking heart. Can't expect a kid to change if all you do is just tell him.
Bye.
You gotta take this job serious. This is the future of this nation.